think I wasn't going to realize that you literally took the clients that you took the money from my client that was supposed to go to me for my hard work and you pocketed it for yourself. And then you lied and said the bride never gave you the money because you knew that I wasn't going to go up to her and harass her because you know the type of person that I am. Hello my beautiful Dakota crew, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. If you are new here, what's up girl? My name is Dakota. I make a ton of content on this channel, from story times, advice, lifestyle content. If that's something you enjoy, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free. And if you aren't new, what's up? Welcome back. It is a story time. Today's video is going to be kind of a part 2 to the story time I uploaded last week, which was my bridal party horror story, where basically a quick rundown is when I was a makeup artist, short-lived makeup artist, I basically did makeup for a bridal party that literally put me through hell. And so I kind of mentioned in that scenario that the girl that was doing makeup with me, that was helping me, who was my friend, we ended up actually doing another party together and she ended up stealing money from me. So if that's something you want to hear today, all you gotta do is keep on watching. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Also, while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. It is free, and turn on your post notifications by clicking the bell icon. That way you're notified every time I upload on YouTube, so you can see more of my face every single week. While you're at it, don't forget to follow me on all my social medias. They'll be linked down here and always in the description box for your convenience. Follow my personal development podcast, The Millennial Empath. And thank you guys so fucking much for 11,000 subscribers. Holy shit, we just hit 10,000 like not that long ago. I just can't believe how much we're freaking growing, and I love you guys so freaking much. You guys are my ride or dies, my OGs, and I am so grateful to have this freaking platform. Thank you so much for all the love, all the support. If you want to watch this ratchet story time, all you gotta do is keep on watching, because we're about to get into it. Drinking, we're gonna have coffee because my daughter's been home for the past 2 weeks. My dumb ass forgot to sign her up for camp, but it's fine. We've been spending time together and stuff, but like as an entrepreneur, like working is like usually when your kids are in school or at camp. So I've been like really balancing the mom work life, and that's why I haven't been uploading as much, and I'm so sorry about it. But listen, it's all about balance. I'm having a coffee from Dunkin', and I actually like made this up. So if you guys want to get it, like let me know, but also give me credit. So it is a medium iced latte with oat milk, 2 pumpkin swirls, 1 French vanilla swirl. It's so good. So we're gonna pick up right where we left off in my last story time. I did that whole bridal party. That shit was just an absolute shit show. And basically, like I said, I mentioned in that story a character named Natasha. Natasha was my friend. I knew her from like a friend of a friend, basically, and we met from mutual acquaintances. And I met her and I really liked her. We both were into makeup. We both were into like the same music. We both were into like spirituality. We were just like both into a lot of the same things, and I really enjoyed her like as a person. I just thought that she was so cool. So I just thought that she was really cool. She was a cool girl. It's not often that I meet girls that I like mesh with super well. I mean, I can like basically get along with anybody, but when it comes to like friendships with girls, I haven't always had the best luck. So when I met her, I was like, oh, we are like into the same exact things. Like, this is gonna be so cool. Like, I have like this new friend that I can talk about makeup with and hair and like all this cool stuff. So I really thought that we were going to vibe. We did hang out a few times, but I would say in no way, shape, or form were we like best friends. We were just more so just like friends. Like, we would text every now and then, sometimes we would call each other. We would like talk about stuff all the time, but we wouldn't ever like hang out that much. It would just be like every now and then, right? So like I said, I was in my own apartment. I already moved out of my parents' house by now. It was me and Aubrey, and I was a single mother, and I was hustling, trying to make it work on minimum freaking wage in a 2-bedroom apartment all by myself, no help from anybody at all. And so I picked up makeup as a side hustle. I thought I could really bank this money. I can put it towards, you know, just improve my life and things like that. If I get really good at it, then shit, I can make this into a career. That was very short-lived. But I basically would get my clients through word of mouth. I wasn't trying to like really like promote myself too much on social media just yet. I was like kind of getting there, but I wasn't like too confident. I didn't have self-confidence at the time. By the way, if you want to know how to get self-confidence, follow my podcast, The Millennial Empath. I have a episode. My brain didn't compute yet. about self-confidence, and you should go listen to it because like it really helps. Okay, anyway, shameless self-promo, let's continue. So yeah, I basically would get my clients through word of mouth. Like if I would do like a friend's makeup, other people would see their makeup, they'd be like, oh my god, like where'd you get your makeup done? She'd be like, oh, my friend Dakota. Or like my friend that I'm talking about in this video, Natasha, she would like, if she couldn't do someone's makeup, she would be like, oh, my friend could do it. Or like even the girl who does my eyebrows, she does makeup as well, but if there's times where she can't do it, she'll refer people to me. So basically we would like all help each other out. Now, as I said, I recruited Natasha into the bridal party where I was doing the makeup because there was no way that I could do all of those bridesmaids by myself, even though I ended up doing like 6 of them by myself because the organization was slim to none. But that's besides the point. Now we're talking about today. So I had recruited her, and I remember it was like maybe, it had to have been around the same time. Like it had to have been around the same time, maybe like 2 weeks later or something like that, or maybe like a month later. I don't exactly remember the time frame, but I remember it wasn't that far off from when we had done the bridal party together. She had called me and she said, hey, what are you doing this date? I'm going to do a bridal party and I'm going to do it in a town. I'm not going to say the town because then it'd be too obvious who this is. So say the town is like Middletown, right? This wasn't the town, but say it was Middletown, right? She's like, I'm going to do makeup in Middletown. I know that it's kind of far. It's like an hour and some change from us, but they're going to pay us gas money. They're going to pay us compensation for traveling. And I only need you to do 2 people. So like, it's really not a big deal. Like I'll do everybody else. You could just do 2. She was much more time efficient when it came to clients because she had way more experience than me. So she could do 4 people in like an hour and 15 minutes. As for me, it would probably take me like 2 or 3 hours to do because I would, you know, take my time. I was new in it. I wasn't that time efficient just yet. So she told me, I'll do everybody else. All I need you to do is like literally 2 clients. That's all. And so I was like, yeah, I'm absolutely down. Let me just make sure that, you know, I have accommodations for Aubrey. I think this was like on a weekend, like a Saturday or something. And it was going to be for a wedding. So another bridal party. Make arrangements for Aubrey, and basically I tell her, okay, I give her the green light, let's go do this, let's make our money, whatever. She was like, for this these clients you should charge a little bit more because like your work is getting a lot better. I don't think you should be charging like $35 a face anymore, especially if you're doing lashes, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, yes, you're right. So I did upscale my charges a little bit, and so I was kind of going into this feeling like super confident, super ready to take on these clients, super ready to do their makeup, X, Y, and Z. Now I asked her, is there any way I can get a picture of them so I know their skin tones, their skin type, what kind of look they're looking for? Because nothing is worse than showing up to do somebody's makeup and realizing that you don't have foundation that match their skin. Now let me just say that if you are a makeup artist, you need to know how to do all types of skin tones, African American, Asian, Caucasian, Spanish. Like you need to know how to do everybody's skin tones, and if you don't, you probably shouldn't be a makeup artist. But that also comes through experience. Like you have to get clients that have different skin tones and do them for the first time, and then add that foundation to your kit. Now at the time I was just starting out, so I only really had foundations that would match like my skin tone. And as you see, I'm fucking Casper, so like I don't really have darker skin tone foundations because I was just starting out. Like I just had like skin tones that matched me, you know what I mean? And then eventually over time I was going to get clients of all different, you know, races and stuff, so I could learn how to do their makeup because I really wanted to learn how to do everybody's makeup to make, you know, everyone just feel included and everyone feel like, okay, you can come to me, you can trust me and do your makeup. I'm not gonna fuck up your face and things like that. But at the time I only really had like lighter skin foundations because I didn't even know where to start with other types of foundations. I needed the practice. So I asked her, what's their skin tone, what's this, what's that? And she was like, I don't really know yet, let me ask. And I was like, okay. So, you know, days go by, she tells me that it's going to be this like Saturday basically. So basically like 6 days out we are from this bridal party. And every day I'm asking her the same question, she's just like kind of dancing around the subject. And I'm just like, if these women have darker skin tones, I need to know because I need to go buy darker foundation so I can accommodate them and I don't look stupid or make anybody else feel uncomfortable. Like I need to know these things. And she was kind of dancing around the subject. I don't think she was doing it intentionally. I just literally think that she didn't know, and you're gonna find out why she didn't know momentarily. So the days go by and I'm basically preparing for this bridal party. I wake up on Saturday morning, I go and I drop Aubrey off. I pack up my whole entire car with like my ring light, my camera, my tripod, all of the things that I need, all my makeup, my wipes, my Q-tips. I stocked up on like sparkly foundation the night before. I went to Sephora and I got all this stuff and I was really, really excited. And I was like, okay, we are gonna do this. Now, we had to be there by like 12, I wanna say. And the agreement was that I was gonna go to Natasha's house. We were going to get in her car and we were going to drive to Middletown. That was the agreement, and I made sure like 6 times. I was like, are you sure you don't wanna just meet me there? Like, Middletown is far, but from my house, it actually is only like a 40-minute ride. So I could actually just meet you there. And she's like, no, I'd rather go together. It's more professional for us to show up on time together. It's more professional for us to be like a duo. Like, if I show up and then you show up, like, what if you don't know where the house is or I don't know where the house is? Like, we can just find out together. So she was going on and on about how, like, we needed to go together. And I was like, you know what? No problem. But one thing I'm not doing is I'm not driving to your house, picking you up and then driving there. Like, that's just like too freaking much, you know what I mean, when it could have just been a 40-minute ride from me. So she insisted, no, just come to my house, we'll get in my car and we'll go. Now, I should have known better, because even like throughout times in our friendship, there would just be times where I'd be like, oh, like, do you want to drive tonight? Or like, you know, like my thing is that if I'm driving to you 30 minutes from my house to your house, if we go somewhere, say like a restaurant or something like that, you should drive, because I just took 30 minutes out of my day, my time, and my gas to come to you. So it's common courtesy that you'd be like, oh, you know, I wanted you to meet me here, so when we go to the restaurant, I'll drive, because it's like only 5 minutes up the street. No, this girl never wanted to drive. And let me just say, I hate people like that. I cannot be friends with somebody who thinks that 30 minutes is like a 3-hour drive. Like, I'm sorry, but like, grow the fuck up. And on top of it too, I hate people who never want to drive, or like they always want you to come to them, or they always want you to stay local to them, but then when it comes to you, they're like, no, sorry, I'm not driving to you. It's just, it's too far. Oh, so what do you think I do 3 times a week? Okay. Oh, okay. I should have known better that this was not going to happen and that I was going to be the one that ended up driving, but again, I'm a Pisces. I like to see the good in people. I like to give people chances. I like to think that people can change, because I'm a Pisces, okay? So I end up packing up my car and driving all the way to her house. I get there. I start to get out of my car because I'm thinking I'm going to take my stuff, transfer it to your car, and we're going to head out on our merry way. She comes out and she's like,
hey, do you mind driving?
I said, no, I'm not driving. We literally just had a discussion 40 minutes ago about how I was driving here and you were gonna drive. And she just like, yeah.
I don't really like have like a lot of gas and stuff, and like, you know, like by the time we get it, it's just gonna be late, and like, can you just drive?
I said yes.
Stupid.
I was just like, well, like, I guess, yeah, I guess I can drive, whatever, it's fine. And she's like,
girl, don't worry, I'm gonna give you the gas money she gives to me, because I guess that she was
charging her a traveling fee because we had to drive all the way there, and it was like an hour away. So she was like,
don't worry, girl, I'll give you the gas money she gives to me. You can have it, don't even worry about it.
I was like, you know what, that's fine, that's fair. Like, at the time I had a Honda, not the freaking car I have now that takes like $50 to fill up. At the time I had a Honda, you know, $25 is pretty standard for gas. Before gas was $3, but I was like, yeah, you know what, okay, cool, whatever. We get in the car, we actually end up going to Burger King, getting some food, and then we end up going to the client's house. Now, the drive there was very, very long, but on the way up there, she did help me out and clean like some like my brushes and stuff like that, so I will say that she did that, and I was like very grateful for that. We drove up there and we're just talking about the clients, and she says to me, she's like,
so I don't know how to tell you this, but I don't think they speak English.
And I'm like, what do you mean they don't speak English? She's like, yeah, when I was talking to her on the phone, it was like very broken English, and like I couldn't really understand her too well. But Natasha, she wasn't Spanish, she was Caucasian, but I guess she grew up around people who spoke Spanish a lot, so eventually she just was able to kind of like learn it herself. And so she wasn't fluent, but she did know a lot of it. Like, she could understand it very well, she could speak it pretty well. She wasn't fluent, but she was like enough to get her by. So she was like, yeah,
I kind of was able to like finagle it because like I do know some Spanish.
She was like, I don't think that any of them speak English. And I'm like, that's okay, but like I don't speak Spanish. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I don't speak Spanish. So for me, I'm kind of worried because I'm like, that's fine. Like, I'm not saying that's like a bad thing, like whatever, I think that's great, but at the same girl, I wish I could speak Spanish. Are you freaking kidding me? When I went to Dominican Republic, I was like, I need to go home and learn Spanish because it's such a beautiful language. But I'm worried now because when you have a client, you have to ask them, what type of eye look do you want? What type of skin do you have? Do you want more of a dramatic look or more of a soft look? Do you want lashes? Do you want eyebrows? Do you want this or that? What color is your dress? Like, you have to ask them a lot of questions that are geared towards what their makeup application is going to turn out like. And so I'm sitting here worried because if Natasha, I almost said her real name, if Natasha's doing her own clients, how am I going to get her to translate for me? What am I going to do? Call her over every 5 seconds? Like, so I'm kind of worried, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I wish you kind of, like, if she told me that in the beginning, I probably would have told her that I don't think I was right for the job, because I don't know how to communicate with the woman whose makeup I'm going to be doing, and that's not fair to them, you know? Like, they deserve to have somebody who understands them and can help them figure out what type of look that they need. How am I going to do that, you know? Not for nothing, but I look fucking stupid now because I didn't know this. And then also when she told me that they only speak Spanish, I'm like, that means that their skin is their skin tones are darker than mine. I only have foundation for like Casper skin, like, you know what I'm saying? Because look at me, I'm not a very tan person. So all these thoughts are going through my head, and I'm like, this is why she never answered my questions when I was asking her, can you send me some pictures of our clients that we're going to be doing? This is why she was avoiding the questions of all the things that I was asking about the clients, because she thought that I was probably going to say no, because you know, I take my work very seriously, and if I feel like I'm not right for the job, even though if it's good money, I'm going to say no, because that's not right. The client deserves, you know, better than that. So I realized that she purposely dodged these questions because she was going to spring it on me the day of, because how am I going to say no now? I'm already driving there. It's their wedding day. I'm not going to say no and have their bridesmaids look crazy. What kind of karma is that? My voodoo doll would definitely get poked with that. I was very frustrated with her, and I was very upset with her because I felt like she kind of just did some like slimy stuff, and I didn't understand why she would do this to me. So I said, well, I'm just gonna let you know now that because like I said, she was very experienced. She had been doing makeup for a long time, so she had done makeup of all different skin types, all different clients, all different, you know, races and ethnicities. So I knew that she had foundation in her kit that I could use that could help me out. And I told her, I said, I'm just letting you know now that I'm gonna have to use some of your products because I have everything else I need. Like even concealers, you can kind of like finagle if you mix a darker concealer with it. But and I had darker concealer because of, you know, contour and stuff. But foundation, I really didn't have much. And so I told her, I'm gonna have to use some of your products. She's like, oh, I'm already 3 steps ahead of you. I was already going to tell you that if you need to use my product, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, we're going to get through this together. We're going to be good. And I was like, okay. So we show up to the client's house. We get out of the car and we go inside. Let me just say they were all very nice, very welcoming, very accommodable. Like, even though they didn't really speak much English, they were very nice. They were like, their actions were very good. They had very good hospitality. They asked us if we needed like water or anything. They were really nice women, like really nice women, and really enjoyable to be around. And they had great hospitality. They welcomed us in with open arms, and basically she started communicating with them in Spanish because the bride did speak like English, but she wasn't going to be in there the whole time. She was going to be like, you know, getting her dress on and taking pictures and things like that. We were primarily focused on doing the bridesmaids. So she spoke English, but she wasn't going to be there, and the bridesmaids, none of them really spoke any at all, and if they did, it was like very little. So I'm kind of like nervous already, but I'm like, okay, you know what, it's going to be fine. I'll just ask Natasha for help if I need help translating. I'm gonna take a deep breath and I'm just gonna fake it till I make it. I'm gonna act like I know everything that I'm doing. We get there and, you know, we start taking out our stuff, we start taking out our makeup, our ring lights, all of that. And then I get my first client, and the first client that I had, she was like a little standoffish at first, but she wasn't rude by any sense. You know, like those women that they're like kind of standoffish, but then it's like when they smile, like their whole face lights up and you're like, oh, like you're a really nice person. Kind of like me, I have resting bitch face. That was kind of her. So basically she sat down. I was able to get Natasha to come over and help me translate. She wanted basically like a purple shimmery eyelid color with a light winged liner. And then she wanted like a soft glam on her face. So like very minimal highlight, lots of blush, just a little bit of contour and things like that. And she wanted lashes. So I had to use Natasha's foundation in order to color match her. I ended up finding a perfect foundation. We got her all set. I did her eye look and everything like that. And then I showed her and she was like, ooh, I like she couldn't really speak that much English, but she's like, I like. And then she was like, you know, gracias. And then she just was very, very nice. And I really, really liked her a lot. She ended up paying me my money. I put it in my little like satchel that I had, and you know, my next client came. So the next client comes, she sits down. Now she doesn't want lashes, she just kind of wants like a soft look, but enough to make her look like she has something on. Again, I have Natasha come over and translate for me, and I go ahead and I get the foundation that I need and things like that. I end up doing her makeup as she wishes, and it ends up coming out really, really good. And like I said, I was only supposed to do 2 clients, so I'm good. I'm feeling like, okay, like I'm actually getting this done. Like I'm kind of able to like talk to them a little bit. Like, you know how it is like when you're talking to someone who speaks a different language and you can like kind of make small talk, but not really. That's what I was doing, and I was trying my very best. And I also felt so freaking bad, and I was like, girl, I need to learn Spanish, because like, I'm sorry, but like that language is absolutely beautiful and I need to learn it to kind of get by with like certain things. There are certain times where Natasha couldn't come over and translate for me, and I had to just kind of like finagle my way around to like figure it out, or I'd have to kind of like show her like an eyeshadow color and be like, this one or this one. And like same thing with lip color as well, because when you're working with women who have a different skin tone than you, a nude that looks nice on you may not look nice on them, and vice versa. There's been nudes that like darker skinned women have like put on, and I've been like, oh my god, that's such a pretty nude, let me go buy it, and I put it on myself and it just doesn't look right. So it really depends on the skin tone that you're working on. That's why it's important to know what you're working with before you show up, so you're prepared. So I end up getting through everything. She loved her look, and she ends up getting out of my chair. So again, as I tell in the first story, I start packing up because I think my job is done. I'm just gonna go help Natasha, see if she needs me. The whole time also, the camera crew that was there and the videography crew were all around us taking pictures of us, and they were like, oh my god, you guys are doing such a good job, everything looks great, yada yada. So they were kind of hyping us up too, so that made me feel a little bit more confident. I'm like, okay. So she gives me her money as well, then she ends up giving me a tip, and I was like, oh my god, thank you so much, like very nice of her. And again, I start packing up my stuff, and this woman comes just barging in the door, and she's like, I need my makeup done. And I'm just like, I already did all my clients. Natasha's on her last client. Who are you?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Like, what is going on right now? She comes in, she was like, I need my makeup done. Like, I was supposed to go get it done with this person. They ended up canceling on me. Like, one of you has to do my makeup. And I'm just like, Natasha looks at me and she's like, I am not even like halfway done with this client. Yeah, like, you're gonna have to take her. And I'm like, okay. So she basically sits down and she tells me that she just wants her eyes done, but she wants lashes as well. So basically, if you just want your eyes done, I'll only charge like $20, but if you're going to get your lashes done as well, I'm going to charge $25 to $30 because, you know, the lash expense and things like that. So I explained to her it's going to be about $30. She says, okay, no problem. And just wanted like a basic eyeshadow look basically, and I was able to do that for her. I did like a little winged liner. She didn't want lashes, but she did want lashes, so I put lashes on her. And then she ended up wanting like a little bit of foundation on her face, but like not a whole lot, just like a small little base just to cover up some stuff. And I was able to do that for her, and it wasn't actually that bad, even though she was kind of a little bit rude. I was like, whatever, just you win some, you lose some, right? All the clients before her were very pleasant, so I wasn't about to like be negative or mad about it. So basically, long story short, I go and I finish her makeup application. I said, okay, it's going to be about $30. She goes, I'm going to give the $30 to the bride, and then she'll give it to you. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. She's like, yeah, it's just I really have to go, but my purse is downstairs. I'm gonna go give it to the bride, and the bride is gonna give it to you. And I was like, oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, like that's fine. First mistake there, always get the money in hand right away. Don't ever let somebody say they're gonna like give it to somebody else or things like that, because then things just get misconstrued. So overall, it wasn't a bad day, but we were there for like literally 4 hours. I was exhausted. I've been on my feet all day. I have been traveling all day. We stayed a little bit also for touch-ups for pictures and things like that. So we end up packing up our things, getting ready to go, and then I realize, I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't get the payment from the girl, like let me get it or whatever. So we end up going over to the bride, and like we didn't want to bother her. That's the thing, is I did not want to bother her. It's her wedding day. She already has enough to worry about as is, enough stress on her plate. The last thing that I wanted to do was ask her like, oh, did your friend end up giving you money for me? She said she doesn't give you money for me, but we do end up going to the bride, and I was like, oh hey, you know, the last client that I did, she said that she was going to give you the $30. Did she give it to you? And she was like, oh yeah. She's like, hold on, let me go grab it. So she goes to grab it, and I have to use the bathroom. So I go and use the bathroom, and I come out, and she's like, in passing as I'm coming out of the bathroom, and she goes, oh, I gave it to Natasha, she has the money. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, like let me go, you know, get it from her. So I go to Natasha, and I'm like, oh hey, like do you have the $30? The bride said that she gave it to you. And she was like,
the bride never gave me $30.
And I was like, oh, that's weird, because like I literally just saw her, and she said that she gave you the money from my last client. She's like,
no, I don't know what she's talking about, she never gave it to me. So
why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
I'm like, what the hell? At this point, I'm not about to go up to the bride again and ask her for a third time where my money is at, because she has enough to worry about, enough on her plate. I don't want to bother her. So I said, you know what, let's just pack up our stuff and let's go ask the lady downstairs where it went. And so I go, and I can't find her anywhere. And she was like, just basically like, she saw me like kind of stressing out about it, because I was like, I need to get paid, like not for nothing, like I know it's $30, but like that's still like gas in my car, food that can go to my child, like that's $30, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of sitting there, and I'm just like, I don't speak Spanish, I can't ask any of these people where this lady is, I don't know where she is. At this point, even if I wanted to ask the bride is nowhere to be found. So I'm kind of left in like a pickle, and I'm just like, yo, like what the fuck do I do? And she is not trying to help me whatsoever. You think a good friend that actually knows how to like speak Spanish would be like, oh, let me go ask so-and-so where she is, or let me go see this, or let me go see that. She was not trying to help me literally at all. She was just standing there with like her hands crossed like this, like as if like I was an annoyance, right? As if I was a freaking annoyance. So I see somebody come by, and it's like a boy, and he's probably no more than like 14 years old. So he sees us standing there, and I was like, hey, do you speak English? And he's like, yeah. I said, can you go find this lady? I told him exactly what she looked like, and he's like, oh yeah, that's like one of my like my aunts. I'll go out, I'll go, what do you want me to ask her? And I was like, oh, can you just ask her where her payment is? I did her eyes, and she didn't end up giving the bride the money. And he's like, yeah, I'll go ask her. So he goes and he asks her, and he comes back, and he's like, she said that she gave your money to the bride like right after she did it. And I was like, okay, well, I asked the bride, and she said she gave it to Natasha. Natasha's saying nobody ever gave it to her. And the whole time Natasha's like,
Dakota, let's go, like who cares, like it's $30, like come on, let's just go. And I'm like,
no, like that's I don't care. I always say you will be broke if you're one of those people that's like, oh well, it's just $2, whatever, oh it's just $3, whatever. That $2 and $3 that builds up and is whatever over a year could be like $2,000 that you save. Like that's why I'm so good at saving money, because I am that person that's like, oh, that is $2 extra, like maybe I should get the one that's like $2 left and save some money. Not to say I'm a penny pincher, but like that's how I save my money, is because I know like if you just say all the time like, oh, it's just $5, it's just $5, like built up over time, however many times you do it, say you do it like 10 times, like that's like, I'm not good at math, like $50 that you could save. No, like I did the work, I want to get paid, like that is not okay. So we are going to do a quick small business promo. If you guys did not know, I do small business promos every single video. If you have a small business that you'd like me to promote for complete free, all you have to do is message me on my Instagram or send me a message on here, and basically I'll give you the address you can send your products to, and I will promote to your small business on my channel so we can all help each other out. So this is from my girl Cheyenne. Let me just say how much I freaking love this girl. She helped me make my summer 2021 playlist that is in the description of this video. Actually, if you go in my description box and I tell you, it says look up my podcast, click on the link that goes to my link tree that you'll find like literally everything, like my YouTube channel, my podcast, my summer 2020 playlist. And she has like the best music suggestions ever. She's always on my lives giving me new music suggestions, and she actually has her own business. It's called Casey Crafts, and her name is Cheyenne. Her Instagram is casey.crafts88, same with Facebook, and her email is casey.crafts88@icloud.com. and she makes these cute, adorable, like phenomenal tumbler cups. Like, look at this. First of all, like me, literally me in a cup. It says Dakota Cross right here, and then it has all these rhinestones. Like, I cannot even imagine how much time it took for her to make this shit. Like, look at this, you guys. One by one, completely handmade, handcrafted. Has the name right there, has the Starbucks logo, because you guys don't know I'm like literally obsessed with Starbucks. But like, this is just me, like extra bougie, extravagant, sparkling, like glamorous, like literally me. Also made one for Aubrey, you guys, look at this. It's the same one, but it just says her name on it. Look how freaking cute. Cheyenne, I can't even like in any way, shape, or form think about how much time you spent customizing these cups. They are absolutely beautiful. They are extravagant. They are glamorous. They are like literally me. Like, this is just my brand. Like, they are absolutely beautiful, and I am obsessed with them. Thank you so much for sending these for me and my daughter. We love them so freaking much. She has her own website where you can literally put in an order and customize it. She can make any type of tumbler that you want. She's so creative, so passionate, and so thoughtful. So Aubrey, I was like, Aubrey, look, one of our subscribers sent this to us, and she was like, oh my god, this is like literally, she was like, it's so beautiful. How long did it take her to do that? It must have taken her so long to put all these crystals on. She's like, mommy, did you do it one by one? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, it's so beautiful. Like, she was so freaking happy. And then she told my dad that one of her fans sent her a cup in the mail. She's like, it's fan mail, Grampy. So her brand is called Casey Crafts, and then right here you can see her Instagram, her Facebook, and then her email. And I'm also going to have all this information linked in the description as well with a direct link, so you guys can go ahead and put your orders in. Cheyenne, thank you so freaking much. I honestly cannot describe how much this freaking meant to me. Like, I was having a really like rough day, and then I opened your package and I was like, no way, like no freaking way. Like, you guys want to go ahead and get your customized cups, tumblers, or anything of that nature, go ahead and hit her up on her Instagram, put in your order. She'll send it to you in a timely manner. And also, let me just say, she packaged these so freaking well, and like, she was just very thoughtful in how she put these in the box and packaged them in the plastic wrap to make sure they wouldn't budge and wouldn't move. All the rhinestones were still attached, and I'm just so appreciative of her and her work. So girl, thank you so freaking much from the bottom of my heart. Now let's get back into this ratchet story time. In my head, I'm not thinking that Natasha has that. I'm thinking that this lady just never gave it to the bride. So she ends up coming to me and she's like, hey honey, like, I gave your money to the bride. Like, I told you I was gonna give it to her. And I was like, yeah, but she said that she gave it to Natasha. Natasha's saying she never gave it to her. So I was wondering if you had it. And she's like, no, I gave her the $30. Like, I gave it to her. And I was just like, I'm not about to sit here with this woman, like, argue with her. And then, you know, the guy was like standing right there and he was kind of looking at me funny. And then Natasha's over here and she's like, Dakota, let's go, just forget about it. And so I'm not about to argue. I'm just like, you know what, whatever. Like, I'll take the L for the day and I'll just go. And I was like, okay, like, no problem, bye. I end up leaving, and I'm frustrated because I think that this lady just never paid. You know what I'm saying? That was my thought process. It was like, oh, she just never paid. Like, she just never paid. And as we were leaving, I was like, oh, the bride, the gas money that she gave you for, that was supposed to go towards me for driving there, I told Natasha, I said, just keep it, because you know what, like, I used some of your product. I had to have you, you know, be disrupted between clients coming over and try to translate for me. So I was like, you know what, don't worry about it. You can keep the $20, even though I drive 30 minutes to her house, an hour to Middletown, an hour back to drop her off, and 30 minutes back to my house. That is 3 hours of driving time. Okay? And I still told her, I said, just keep the $20, don't worry about it, because I did use a lot of her products. I was like, you know, like, we're even. I use a lot of your product. You know, like, you know, you gave me your product, I drove, like, whatever, it's fine, don't worry about it. And so me being the nice fucking person I am, which I'm realizing by telling these stories that I'm too fucking nice. Too fucking nice. Anyway, so as we were leaving, I said, oh, don't worry about the $20, like, what. And she never mentioned it, by the way. I think she was never even going to mention it because she secretly wanted to pocket the money for herself. And I was like, don't worry about it. And she's like, oh, okay, thanks, girl. I'm not even like, oh, are you sure? Like, you know, you did drive it. No, she's like, okay, thank you. That was it. So I'm driving and I'm like visibly pissed off and I'm like, yo, I really cannot believe what that woman just didn't pay. Like, that is so rude. And she's like, yeah, girl, you're just gonna get clients like that sometimes. They always try to finagle. And she's like, that's why I always say payment right up front, or like payment at time of service, because, you know, the fact that you like let her walk away, like she was definitely trying to walk all over you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I know, like, what the hell? Like, that's not okay that she did that. And I'm just like so mad. So we end up driving and she's like, hey, like, I'm kind of hungry. We haven't ate all day. Do you want to stop at this Chili's and we can eat? And I was like, yeah, actually I'm kind of starving, and like, not for nothing, but after that bridal party, like, I need a drink. People don't understand that doing bridal parties with makeup is so time consuming, so draining. Like, you're on your feet all day, you're just talking to people the whole time, you're like, you know, finagling between, like, cleaning brushes in between clients, and then, you know, getting like all the stuff put on them. Like, it's just a lot. So we end up pulling over, we end up eating, we end up, you know, having a couple drinks and things like that. So over having a couple of drinks, I noticed that Natasha is becoming a little looser, and she's just, you know, talking. She's talking about, you know, this person, talking about that person, whatever. Like, she's kind of like gossiping, like, you know, like everyone does when they drink. And we end up talking about how much money we made that day. And so I'm like, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm kind of happy with how things turned out, but I'm like, I'm still kind of pissed off the lady didn't pay.
Oh, I made like really good money. The bride gave me like a $40 tip. Like, that was like, she did not have to do that. She was like, I made such good money today. And I'm like,
yeah, you know, like, I made about, like, say, like, I don't remember how much I made, but say I said that I made like 150 or something like that. I was like, oh yeah, I made like 150, like, you know, or no, I was like, I made 170, and I'm really upset because if she gave me the 30, I would have made 200, and that's, you know, pretty good money just for one day doing 3 people. And I was like, you know, but like, whatever, you win some, you lose some. And she's like, oh, I made such, like, she started bragging. She's like, oh, I made such good money today. She's like, oh, I made such good money today. I made like $255. And I'm like, oh, like, that's really dope. Like, good for you. Like, I hope one day I can raise my prices as high as yours, etc. And then I'm like sitting there and I'm eating my freaking Cajun chicken pasta, and I'm like, wait,
that's suspicious. That's weird.
How the fuck did she make $255 when she only charges $55 a face, and the bride gave her a $40? That makes no type of sense. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, something's not adding up. But I wasn't about to, like, right in that moment, like, confront her about it or say anything or like calculate numbers or anything like that. So I'm like, I'll be right back, I have to go to the bathroom. So we're gonna do this math together, okay? Natasha charges $55 a face. That's 55 times 3 people. She had 3 clients that day. That's $165 plus the $40 tip that the bride gave her. That's $205 plus the $20 that I let her keep for gas money. That's $225. How did you make $255 if you only did 3 clients and you got $70 between the tip and the gas money?
If 2 plus 2 is 4, right? And 5 plus 5 is 10. Okay. What the fuck is this?
So then I go, for just shits and giggles, let's add $30 and just see what comes out. So I added 30 to the $225. What do you know? It's $255.
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
What? Oh. Okay, so you think I'm fucking stupid. You think I'm dumb. You think I wasn't gonna realize that you literally took the clients, that you took the money from my client that was supposed to go to me for my hard work, and you pocketed it for yourself. And then you lied and said the bride never gave you the money because you knew that I wasn't gonna go up to her and harass her, because you know the type of person that I am. And instead of just telling me the truth and giving me my money, you pocketed it for yourself. And not only did you do that, but knowing that you pocketed it for yourself, when I offered to tell you to keep the gas money because I used some of your product, even though the gas money is supposed to go to me, you also pocketed that for yourself. So basically I was out like $50 because that gas money should have went to me, because yeah, I did use her product, but she also told me on the way up there that these women had darker skin complexion. So how was I supposed to know? It's not my fault. So I should have gotten the $20 for gas and the $30 from the client. So I was out like $50. Like, that's a lot of money. So I'm sitting there in the bathroom. I'm like, this bitch did not. I know she did not.
You're ashamed of yourself.
Are you not embarrassed? This is...
And I just was like flabbergasted because I'm like, here I am, I'm a single, she knows my situation, I'm a single mom, I'm paying $1,000 for rent by myself, making $12 an hour at a minimum wage, crusty, dusty, rusted, busted daycare. I get no child support, no food stamps, no support from the state, nothing at all. I am doing this all by myself, and you live at home with your parents. You don't pay a goddamn bill for anything. You don't pay your car, you don't pay your phone, you don't pay anything. You work part-time. Like, I literally was flabbergasted. How do you do that to somebody? As a human being, how do you steal money from somebody like that and then look at them in the face while you're sitting with them at lunch and just being like, I made this much today, like, how much did you make? Like, if you're gonna steal, don't be fucking stupid. If you're gonna steal, like, don't say, she could have said like, oh, I made like $2.25 or oh, I made like $3 something. I would have never even calculated that shit. But when she said that, I just knew that that number did not sit right within me, and I was like, there's no freaking way. Literally got back to the table, I finished my food, and I was like, let's go. I barely talked to her the whole entire ride home. I dropped her off, I let her go, and after that, I never saw her again. I deleted her off of everything. I deleted her off of Instagram, off of Snapchat, Facebook, literally everything, and I gave her no explanation whatsoever. I was like, I am never talking to this girl again. That is so slimy. That is so disgusting. Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you do that as a human being to somebody else? I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, Dakota, it's just $30, let it go. But it's like, it's not the money, whether it was $30 or if it was $2. It's the fucking principle of it. Like, it's the principle of the matter. Like, money is energy, and by you stealing money from someone, you're literally creating and manifesting your own karma. Like, I hope you guys know that. I hope you know when you steal, not even like money, just steal like material things, like stealing from Walmart or stealing from the store. Like, you're literally banking your own karma, because that shit is energy, and what you put out into this universe always comes back to you. So just think about that when you're like going to steal something from the store and you think that no one's watching you. Like, the man upstairs is always watching, okay? Like, he sees everything, period, okay? He has no time off. Yeah, basically she stole that money from me, and I know a lot of you are going to be like, why didn't you confront her? Why didn't you say anything? It wasn't worth it, because at the end of the day, what people do with their actions means way more with their words. So by her stealing from me, she showed me that not only did she not give a shit about our friendship, not only did she not give a shit about me making ends meet for me and my daughter, but she didn't give a shit about herself, because people who are hurt other people. So it just showed like the little level of self-esteem and self-respect that she had for herself, because she easily could have been like, oh, well, that was just like tip money, or oh, that was this and that, but she already told me that the other two girls didn't tip her. So I knew that. Like, I'm very, people think that I'm dumb for whatever reason. I'm really freaking not, but like, I observe everything and I hear and retain everything. My memory is impeccable. My mom even told me when I was younger that like I literally have the memory of an elephant. Like, when I tell you I have a memory of an elephant, I'm not joking. Like, my memory is top notch, and I remember everything that people say to me. So when she was telling me those things, I was banking in all this information, but because she got lit off of a couple of spicy margaritas, she started spilling the beans, and she literally told on herself, because God always has my back no matter what, period. This is my story. That is what happened. And I guess the lesson that I took from this and that I want to convey to you guys is stop being so nice. Like, be nice, but be nice to the right people. Being so nice, trust your gut. When people show you who they are the first time, believe them, because there were so many examples of this girl like showing me who she was and me not believing it, because I wanted to believe she was a good person, I wanted to believe she was a good friend, but there was like things that she would like say about people, or things that she would say about just like certain like just like comments that she would make about other people that should have made me realize like, oh damn, like if you talk about those people that way, you're definitely talking about me that way. My mom always said that if your friends are talking bad about their other friends, best believe they're talking shit about you. And that is something I always carry with me, because it's so true. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw today, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out with the algorithm. Also, while you're at it, subscribe so that way you just never miss a video. And speaking of not missing a video, hit the bell icon in the corner so you can see more of my face every single week. Follow me on all my social medias. They will be linked right here and linked in the description box. My Instagram is Dakotacross with an extra A, so it's DAKOTAACROSS, as well as my Twitter and my TikTok and things like that. If you want my Snapchat, like who uses Snapchat anymore, that's also in the description as well. And today we're going to do our post notification shout out. My notification shout out goes to Crystal Leguli. I'm so sorry, I'm so bad at pronouncing names, but it'll be on the screen. She commented on one of my Ask Dakota advice column videos and said, I'm not in any of these situations, but somehow listening to all the great advice you gave made me realize things about myself and my relationship that I need to change to make things even better for my fiance and myself. So thank you. You're welcome, girl. Thank you so much for watching my content and doing such a sweet comment. I really appreciate you and your love and your support. If you guys would also like a post notification shout out, all you have to do is basically just comment on my videos, and then also make sure that you hit the bell icon that way you're notified every time I post a video. Then all you have to do is comment done, so I know your post notifications are turned on and you could be shouted out in my next video. Thank you guys so much for 11,000 subscribers. I still can't freaking believe that, like, that is happening. I want to sit here like at the end of the year and be like, oh my god, we made it to like 60,000 or like some crazy number like that. So let's get to that together. Don't forget to watch my everyday makeup tutorial that I uploaded a couple weeks ago. You guys have been asking for makeup content, so that is up. And I will see you guys in my next video. I love you so freaking much, and thank you for